This film was created in collaboration with the Indigenous people in the region of 100 Mile House in the province of British Columbia on the west coast of Canada. We honor their traditions of consent, ceremony, and sovereignty of touch. The Afro-Indigenous person, I carry the wisdom and the weight of the histories shaped by colonization. Touch was taken, weaponized, and even denied. This is an offering, a circle of care, a reminder that healing, when rooted in respect and relationship, is still possible. We are born knowing the language of touch. Unfortunately, some of us lose that, or perhaps we forget, or are made to forget.
Hi, will you tell us who you are?
I'm Sherry Christopher.
Hi, Sherry. Do you belong to a band?
That's Keskin.
Keskin, and is that out here at 100 Mile House?
It's just outside of 100 Mile House.
Okay. Sherry, when you were growing up, what kind of relationship did you have with Healthy Touch?
Healthy Touch was spending time with my grandmother. My dad's mother was brushing hair. She's brushed my hair. Helping each other around the house, yes. Learning how to make bread, learning how to dry fish.
Okay. Was there ever a time when you were touched and it wasn't welcomed?
Many times.
Many times. So consent wasn't given?
No consent is given when you're getting whipped by your mother.
Okay. And when that happened, how did that make you feel?
I was scared and I felt alone, and that I had nobody to stand up for me or to speak up for me and to protect me.
Were you able to talk to anyone about that when it was happening?
Not until I came into my teenage years and I went into therapy.
Okay. Was it something that was more isolated as far as it just happened to you, or do you know of other people within your community where that happened as well?
I'm pretty sure it happened to the majority of our community, being whipped and unwanted touch from relatives that we had trusted at one time.
Yes, yes. Any idea why you think that happened?
I think it's a learned, when people learn how to touch bad, it's a learned thing where nobody was told that that does not feel good. There was a lack of communication.
Right.
And ego took over.
Sure. Has the communication changed for the better as time has moved forward?
Yes, I speak up for myself.
Yes.
I've spoken up for my children and my nieces and nephews about consent,
yes.
about touch, and that anything under your underclothes, that's private, yes. and not for anybody else to touch.
Yes. And just going back to unwanted touch, when that happened, did you ever find that maybe there was a disassociation, so that you, maybe, I don't want to put words in your mouth, that maybe there was a way that you were trying to perhaps cope with the situation at hand?
Yes, when I was touched unwantedly, I had found that my breathing was shallow, and that I would kind of see myself from another place, that person, that's happening to that person.
I want to thank you for just sharing with us, and I'd like to ask if I could have consent to give you a hug.
Yes.
Okay, come on, come get you a hug. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
I'm tired of you touching me.
Give me space.
You're touching me.
I don't want you touching me.
Well, don't touch me then.
I don't like touch.
Well, I don't want you touching me. You're invading my space.
Don't touch me.
Oh, just keep your distance, will you?
Please give me space.
I don't want to be touched right now.
I don't want you touching me.
Well, step away then. Just leave me, why don't you?
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
I'm sorry.
Me too. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean it.
I'm sorry.
Who am I speaking with?
My name is Tyler McKinney.
Tyler, which band do you belong to?
That's a tricky question for me. I grew up without culture, so all through my life, I don't think I belonged to any band. However, with reconnecting back to culture, with the work that I do, what I'm trying to focus on with my filmmaking and my photography, I do very much feel that I belong at least to the cities of Red Deer, Alberta, and Rocky Mountain House, Alberta, Treaty 6, Treaty 7 territory. So you have your Ochies nations, your Sunchild Nation. But I'm still very much on the path of trying to figure out who I am and where I do belong to, right?
Yeah, thank you. Tyler, when you were growing up, what did touch mean to you and people within your community?
You know, when I was younger, touch was a very scary and frigid thing to me. I haven't really ever told this. This is a bit of a vulnerable place for me right now, but I think I've done enough of the work, and I've talked to enough people who have been through sort of the same thing, and you know, I've counseled so many people that have struggled with this sort of history, with this sort of trauma, that I feel like I need to come out with it now. That at a very young age, I was sexually assaulted, and I was sexually assaulted by a family, well, what I thought was a family friend of ours, when I was very, very young. And you know, I've never told anyone about that. I have held that very close to myself, and now that I'm on the path of healing, I'm looking back at it now in retrospect, and I'm understanding that even though it was at a very young age, it did very much affect me in my adult years. My relationships have always been very short-lived. My relationship with my sexuality has always been all over the place. It's always been very suppressed. And you know, one of my biggest love languages is physical touch, but that's also one of my biggest triggers as well. So someone running up behind me and giving me a hug, like, makes me feel like I need to jump out of my skin, right? But that's the way that I receive love too. It makes me feel torn up inside, knowing that that's the thing that both hurts me and the thing that both makes me feel loved, in a sense, you know?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
In your community, in the healthcare field, how is touch received, and has touch changed for the better, in your opinion, over the years?
You know, every day we come in contact with someone new who has a terrible history with physical touch, or something recent has happened in the route of them being assaulted, and it's hard for me to think that things are getting better when that is getting more and more frequent, more and more intense. And some of the stories that come through are just, you couldn't even imagine another human doing something like that to someone else, right? So I don't feel like it's getting better. I feel like it's actually getting worse. I feel like a lot of people are using physical touch as a means to control someone else, as a means to gain power. Honestly, quite frankly, it's disgusting. Yeah.
Well, I am hopeful. I'm sorry to hear that. And at the same time, I'm hopeful that touch and the awesome power of touch will be something that can improve.
I believe it can. I just like how I said that physical touch is my love language, but it's also a trigger of mine. It shows that it does have a healing property to it, and I think one of the biggest routes that we can go across healing this sort of trauma is to find ways in the medical field, in the professional field, where we can use touch in a way that can rehabilitate people. You can only do so much counseling for someone that's gone through physical assault or sexual assault, but when it comes to really reintroducing them back to a healthy matter of touch, you need to show them that that is something that's available. You need to show them that that is something that's healing. So why not show it through practical use, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts
Thank
and
you.
sharing your opinions. We really appreciate that, Tyler. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate everything that you're doing in the community and all of your work towards reintroducing touch in a good way.
Thank you. We are touched by Mother Nature. It's a part of what we are. It's who we are and where we came from. Touch is physical, and touch is also emotional, spiritual, and more. Would you like to tell us who you are?
Sure. Sachinmas Iswith Kalmuhuasca. Floyd Dick is my native name.
Wow, that's beautiful. Floyd, could you tell us which band you belong to?
Askekdamgen. I am from the land of the White Earth.
Wow, that's nice. Floyd, I'd like to ask you, have you seen any transformation in care and caregiving in your community and in the Indigenous community throughout Canada or this land?
Yes, I feel like that there have been some transformations in the sense where in the medical system we have right now, some of the people that enter into the medical scene, they have to almost prepare themselves sometimes for the type of treatment that they're going to get in this medical system nowadays. And on the other hand, that's our path in order to come through, in order to heal ourselves. And another thing that I look to the tree for is that in order for an Indigenous person to be able to stay alive in today's world, we need to get back out there to where Mother Nature is, because the Mother Nature is the one that heals us and makes us whole. And, you know, in our stories, it's the plants and medicines who are saying, before the people to be came, they said to the people, we want you to enlighten. So therefore, the message from the plants to the people is, take some frequency from the sun, take some wind, take some water, and you will become enlightened like us, the plants. So that's the message. And there is some transformation going on individually in various communities to that respect, where they're going back into nature to make themselves complete, and therefore it is they're not relying on this medical system. So the message is to go back to Mother Nature to heal yourself and
Sure.
become whole.
Sure. Mother Nature, the creator, the ruler,
Yeah.
the giver,
Yeah.
the giver.
Yep. The
Yeah.
giver of all life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Appreciate the question.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so maybe one more. I think we'll have enough info easy to do a little cut here and there. Moving forward, Floyd, can you tell the audience, what gives you hope for the future?
What gives me hope for the future is is love. Love encompasses everything. A love that is kind, a love that is whole, a love that doesn't beg, a love that goes through the pain, a love that accepts all, unconditionally. So when we get back to those things, I believe it'll make us whole and make us connect even greater to those around us, and through that I see hope. Through people's individual growth and compassion, it helps me to feel more hope.
Thank you.
The songs and dances and the energy brings me hope.
Thank you. Floyd, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing. I just want to explain how we work here and how our procedure is here. We're doing what we're doing now, is we're doing a bit of an interview, and then after that I will have you go through various movements just to see where you're at right now. And after that, then we will proceed with the treatment. Before we get to the treatment, I just want to explain to you that it is going to be hands-on, and I would like your permission before I put my hands on you, because it's important that you feel safe, that you feel secure. And while I'm working with you, at any point, if you find that my pressure is too much, my pressure is not enough, or something doesn't feel right, then please, will you please tell me?
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you bringing that up, because I'm kind of hesitant coming in to, sometimes people don't really talk to you about that.
Right.
It just feels uncomfortable. So
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, this is a symbiotic relationship. What you're feeling, you might feel a little bit nervous, and if you do feel a bit nervous, then please, by all means, let me know, because I want this experience here to be a positive experience, that you'll come back again, whether see me or another therapist, and continue on and get that shoulder and that neck feeling a little bit better.
That's great.
Hi, my name is Garfield Crooks, and I am a registered massage therapist in the great province of British Columbia. Currently, I am in 100 Mile House in northern British Columbia. I'd like to talk a little bit about informed consent. Informed consent is a practice which is throughout Canada for all healthcare professions, including mind massage therapy. Informed consent is when that person, that patient, comes into the office to see the care provider, the therapist informs the patient of what will happen. They will also tell why it's going to happen and the risk that's involved in the treatment. Also, at any time throughout the treatment, if the patient for whatever reason, decides that they want the treatment to stop, then the treatment stops. Informed consent was put forward to protect the client. Unfortunately, that wasn't always the case with the Indigenous, Aborigine people within this land. At times, the care that they received, I would go as far as saying it wasn't care. I would go as far, again, as saying it was subpar. It was below standards. They were felt marginalized, and a whole bunch of other negative connotations were connected with therapy in this land. So with informed consent, what's really important here is to be able to empower the client, empower the patient, so that they know at any point throughout the treatment, if they want it to stop, we stop. We protect the client, we respect the client, we respect their boundaries, and again, we come back to that word of empowerment. One patient at a time, we want to do our best to elevate and continue in elevating healthcare within Canada, massage therapy in Canada. When we touch the person, it has to be informed touch, sacred touch, honest touch, one patient at a time.